extreme dancers while in the university, featuring the nationwide viral music video like The Bank's Why Me and Same Me by DJ Z's. He came to wider prominence as one of the best TV/radio personality the African continent has ever seen. He began his career in broadcasting in 2004 as an intern with Coolfm, where he served for about 5 years before he began to host radio shows. He has since moved on to host numerous shows on the station and of course on TV as well. He is the CEO of a record label called Eclectic, I beg your pardon, Entertainment, which has on his books Nigerian music star Pepe Nazi. He's a social media influencer who handles social media and creates content for several brands. He's also creative director for Ila, I guess right? Angeli Stores. He has in his kit several awards, including Society Awards, Radio Personality of the Year 2011, the Future Awards 2012, Nigerian Broadcasters Merit Award 2012, City People's Award 2015, and indeed Nigerian Entertainment Awards 2015. He is happily married with his beloved wife Taiwo, and they are blessed with 2 lovely kids. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me to the show this morning, Dotun Ojuolape Kayode.
Good morning.
Dotun, how are you this morning? Great to have you on the show this morning, Dotun.
I mean, it feels different. I mean, doing this, being on the other side.
I was about saying that. I mean, you are always been on this side, but today you are the other side. How does it feel?
It feels different, and it feels a lot different when people tell your story differently. I mean,
okay.
It's almost like it's a numb where I have to talk about people's lives, and
now you are on the spotlight.
Exactly. So
okay.
I think I can accept that, and I feel like that's the feeling people get when you. So
definitely.
I feel the same way.
That's great. Now, let's dive into Dotun. I mean, you, according to you, you were not the favorite child.
Yeah.
You were the black sheep. You had a rocky relationship with your parents. Tell us about your childhood. How was it growing up?
Well, I come from a very simple, like you guys know, the generalization of a nuclear family.
Okay.
I was, my dad was a building engineer, construction engineer. My mom, a nurse, she's retired now, and 2 both worlds. My dad is someone who clearly does not. He loves God, but doesn't go to church.
Okay.
My mom was a deeper life, and she's still deeper life today.
Okay.
She's been there for years and worked so hard, I mean, for the church as well.
Okay.
So I came from a family where, one, they're both principled people. They're both education savvy. When, for example, like if you're from Ondo State, you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that the both parties making sure both want education for you. They feel like life has to be this way, and it was a bit different. And I was just not that conventional child.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just always had, I was that kind of kid. People, like a lot of people see me as energy. I've always been that kid from day one.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very hyper child, and I got beaten many times by the headmaster and principal, who didn't make sense that. Why would a kid be this energetic? I mean, he's always around the place, jumping all around the place. So they always call my dad to school almost every time. But I was also a very sweaty child. Like, I sweat on my palms and my legs. It's not the same now when I'm nervous or when I'm scared or when I'm when I'm nervous, I start to sweat in my palms and on my legs as well. So and it was a routine then. They qualify rough kids, like kids who sweat on their clothes and everything. So sometimes I'm sitting down very quiet and I just sweat, so I got beaten many times. So on that level, school-wise, my dad didn't like the idea that he thought I was a really, intelligent kid.
Okay.
But I just never took out time to sit down and nest it. And that thing pisses him off every time. Like, you're very intelligent. Like, he knows that Dotun focuses on something, he's going to get it done. Yeah. But he would not focus. So that really always. And I was not the conventional child. I mean, the things you tell me to do, I'm not going to do them. I might probably have to find a way around it. Yeah, not to do, I'm not going to do it. So at some point, sometimes I frustrate my dad. I get beaten many times. I think I got beaten the most. I think I took all the beating for all my other siblings, and I was not. So my dad loved my sister more. Because she was more in tune with the kind of things she wants. She was more quiet, she saves her stuff, there are times that they buy things for us. I because I started to dislike my sister at the point that you always keep your stuff. I don't keep mine. Why don't you just come home and let's just lie together that we lost it? Because I know I won't get beaten because she lost hers.
Yeah.
I won't get beaten. So, but she keeps her stuff very. So that's my dad's understanding of how a child should be. So I was not really the favorite, but nonetheless they loved me because. All the basic things that I needed as a child, I mean, I saw them grind very much. I mean, I saw my dad lose his job. My dad always taught us contentment, and I think that's one of the values that I think I appreciate him for. Like, nothing moves me. You can come with all the money in the world. My dad believes in honesty and believes, and I always tell everybody, if anybody wants to be the president of this country, you should call my dad because he's from a family they're like that. They had the chances to make money and steal, but they would not do it. And he became a bother for me at some point, like, why are these human beings like this? Like, everybody's making money and stealing and making all the money in the world. They would not. They would not. I had an uncle who is his, I mean, he's a great guy. Fantastic guy in the colleges. Dr. Kayode, everybody who knows him, Dr. Yemi Kayode, a lot of guys know him. He was in a position at some point, I don't want to mention the company, somebody resigned because he could not, he just thought stealing is not the way. I might be the boss here, but does not mean I have to steal. So the person that was second in command to him resigned. Like, this guy's not a human being. Like, people are stealing these days. But that's the kind of power. He came for that kind of family. Very conventional family, very, very, very orthodox in what they do. Yeah. They're very traditional, and they like to do things very strong with their values. And I think that kind of thing, trickled down to he's the way he wanted his kids to be. So contentment, there's no there's no power, sit in your house. There's no power in your house, sit in your house. Oh, you don't have food, wait till the food comes. Don't beg, don't go anywhere, don't do that, don't do that. And I at some point, I not started to realize that because I thought it was actually really stern and wicked. My dad is one of the presidents that had the best handwriting in the world. I'm not even going to take that away. He's very impeccable when it comes to writing, so he checks details. Notes has to be right, but I'm never that child. I'm very off that level of, but the things he instilled were the things that worked for me over time.
Now, at a point, he lost his job. I mean, for like 7 years, no contracts, no job. And your mom, according to you, was the one who kept the home together. How did it feel as a young child seeing your father out of job and then your mom was the go-to person for every need?
It was heartbroken, to be honest. I think that's the first time I ever saw my dad cry because there was an incident where we needed to get to school and we needed to go with someone. And the person said, I can't be driving to your hood every time. I mean, how do I drive my car and pick your kids there? So I think that really got to him. Because my dad is a very strong person. He comes out as a strong guy, but I think he's just walls. He's a very soft guy, but he builds walls.
The strong also
he's a guy who goes out for all his family, and seeing him break down for the first time, it really got to me. And I think that's the part I'll never forget in my head. And sometimes even when I hit some really good deals, and I just drive my car, I think about those days, and I just cry on my own because I know that's the first time I ever saw him broken. I mean, and the thing is, that's why I respect my mom a lot, and I think it's that's what everybody's looking for these days. A woman who can stand by you regardless of anything. I saw that happen. I know the truth is nobody ever knew. We still wore the same nice clothes. Christmas Day, the gym was everybody had their own clothes on. We ate the right food. My daddy still didn't sit back. He kept hustling. And I'm happy the way they are right now. I mean, turned out all the kids already sorted out now, and they're fine. Yeah. And he's not even. My daddy just turned 60. Wow. I'm gonna turn 60 on my sister's wedding. So all the things just added up. It was just right time, and they're cool now.
That's great. I mean, you went to Mayflower School in Kenya, and then from there you went to Lagos State University, studied mass communication, majored in PR and advertising. Now, but according to you, there was a story you shared. I mean, you survived on 1,000 naira a week for 4 years. Now, for a lot of people, they cannot relate. I mean, I can relate. I went through such a thing before, so I can relate. But a lot of people can't just imagine, how did you survive on 1,000 naira for 4 years every week?
For everybody who does, I mean, it's better now. That's why sometimes when people take shots at me, I just sit back and think that you don't even know my story, right? I lived in Surulere. I was born and bred in Aguda. And at the point, it was an apartment that you have to go through a swamp to get to my.
You call it a small box with a swimming pool when it rains.
To get to my house, and it was. But my dad just kept it cool, but he liked the area. And my mom said, "Nah, we have a lad somewhere, right? And he's in Okokomaiko. We have to move there." And he was like, no, that's far away. We're like, but we cannot stay here. It's just a self-contained, and we almost cannot even, we're cooking, the wall is right close to the window, there's no ventilation. Crazy. So we moved to Okokomaiko. My dad started building, and my mom kept pushing, you have to build this thing, and he kept building, and we moved to our first, our first own building, actually, Kokomaiko. And, that's when I realized that, things are not that easy, right? And my dad said, education is cool. This is what it is, but this is what I can afford. I'm going to pay your fees. That's what I owe you. Your fees are sorted. He pays fees. My daddy is the guy. He pays before. He even pays in
advance.
He buys books. He's that kind of guy. Very, very responsible dad. These days, he's not. He's a very responsible dad. To a fault. So
I can imagine.
He at some point, trying to buy. I just thought about him, man. 8,000. So, and that's what he could afford. Now he said, because I was going to mass communication, school of communication, Lasso, it was in Ojueleg back then. It was closer to his brother's house, and he said, you know what? It's best you stay there. For proximity and nearness, it's better you be there. But you probably eat meals there. So it's 1,000 for a week. And I did that for 4 years. I think it was the last time that I just raked and nah, I'm not going. I'm not taking any money from you. And it was like, I already left. I think felt it true. And by the time I think he had it 1,000 or 2,000. I think that was it. But that was the thing that taught me how to manage money. I save a lot. As much as everybody sees I'm a fly guy, but I try as much as possible to save. And those little things taught me how to save. My daddy is a saver. So he taught me how to manage that 1,000. I needed to take a bus all the way from Okoko. Sometimes he never knows that I trek because I need to always have that money and all that. Those are the things that got me a lot more into music, because I was more into music.
So let's go into music now. You've always been an avid lover of dance. And at a point you started a dance group in school, or you joined rather, and then you wanted to pursue a dream in dance.
Yeah.
Then came Mr. Nzeribe.
Yeah.
Share the Mr. Nzeribe story.
Mr. Nzeribe, may so rest in peace. Everything I am right now, apart from the other little things people have done for me, he was the one who put the peg on my life. He was very witty, very spontaneous man. He was the AFCON chairman at some point. Very good guy. He was teaching me in school, and I just thought about it. You're a different child. You're quite witty, very playful, and he just thought, you know what, you'd be good on, you're doing advertising and public relations. And I was great in his class as well. So he just thought about it, you know what, you could do more for yourself. And he was the kind of guy who was a lecturer that was different. You come to class, give everybody sweets, bring goodies for everybody. Amazing. We loved the guy a lot.
Amazing.
So rest in peace. And he called me one time and said, you want to do your internship? And he said, I used to dance in school then. I'll come with a big recorder in my bag, looking up. People look at me like, what's wrong with this guy? I put the recorder downstairs. I had a dance group called Extreme Dances. We had some great gigs. Big shout out to the likes of Don Flex. He was in my group at that time. He's now dancing for P Square now. He's a popular choreographer now, if everybody knows him. But we all started together, right? And then I just felt dance was not paying off. I just go for gigs. Musicians were not nice to dancers. And I think these days is a lot better now. That's because better now. Then you come in your own clothes. You leave without getting paid. They're the ones who hang out in the VIP. You cannot even hang out with them. You can't even get in the club. You all rock the shows together on stage. But when it's time for the after party, you can't even come in with them. They don't even recognize you anymore. So I just thought about it you know what? This is not what I want for myself. Dance, I did that for years in school, and it was good. And I think that projected a lot of people to even do certain things and branch out. At some point, I called everybody and said, come, it's time for you to look for something else. I love to do this, but this is not paying off for anybody. But I think we've learned a lot of togetherness, spirituality, always understanding ourselves, what dance can get you. But it was never the cut for me. So I just felt, after doing dance videos, I've been in YME, danced for Goldie one time. A lot of guys just thought about it and like, hey man, this is not what I want for my life. And Zeribe just thought about it and said, you know what, you want to do your internship. I have 3 options for you. I kept bugging him. I go to, I think his office was in Ogba then at that time. I used to go there all the time. So he said, I have 3 options. He gave me one TV station. The TV station, they show Labion don't get show. For that reason,
we understand.
I didn't want to go there.
I
said, this is not me. They gave me another station that owns a cinema now, right?
Okay.
And I said, and they gave me Coolfm. And I'm like, yeah.
Sounds more like it.
This is what I want to do. I'm like, this sounds exactly like, because I used to listen to the likes of Max Sylvia then. And Coolfm had the kind of vibe that I grew up with, Voice of America. I like this guy called Shaka Zali.
Okay.
Those are guys I grew up with. I mean, my dad used to make me listen to radio a lot and TV.
You said he used to give you a radio every
radio because it was a no power society. So my daddy knew that you know what, he's abreast with news. Even right now he's on Instagram. My daddy knows everything that's going on.
That's amazing.
He's a big fan. So he told me, he said, radio, don't touch my radio. This is yours.
This is yours.
So every time I break the antenna, you've broken this one again. He always notices that I sleep with it every time.
So you sleep over.
I put the radio down. I used to listen to likes of Tucker Brown, Steve the Slick Caddy, all. So rest in peace. Great guys on radio. So I just thought about it, man. Brah, this is what I want. He said, I'll come back later. I said, okay, fine. My mind, I was already working in Coolfm. So I went back to the guy. He still did not. I'm like, "Sir, this is you disturbing me." He now told me and gave me Chris Bossy's number. Okay. And Chris was like, I called him multiple times. I said, boss now. I just thought, why you disturb me with this boy? Why you always, you know what, just come on this day, they'll sort you out. I said, okay, nice. And I came. The first time they told me it's not ready, so I went to call the guy. The guy said, why are you bugging me? That day I walked home out of anger. I walked from Ojuelegba to my house. I'll get to any paper, I'll call the man. I said, why are you disturbing me? I told you he's going, don't worry. So I got home, I just lay down in the bed. I got the call and I said, oh, they said you come on this day. And I got there. And then I walked in here. I mean, I like the place. Glass door everywhere. Everyone all looking all flashy. And I'm like, oh, this is good.
It's more like it.
And that's why I kicked up my life from being an intern to what I am now.
All right. So from being an intern now to a continental acclaimed broadcaster, how did you make that journey? What were the challenges you passed through? What were the hustles you had to surmount during that transition? I know it's a very long story, but just try to just cut it short.
But I think it's probably need to record a video. Emmanuel, I'll be honest with you, it was a journey, right? Sometimes it pay off all the kind of, for example, sleep been a problem for me. I picked up a few, there was a time because there's a lot of fear of the unknown and knowing when to pull the plug and knowing when to do a transition. It was kind of hard, you know, but the truth is, being an intern at that time, I knew what I wanted and I took everything. I mean, there was a time somebody came in here and wanted to do an interview with me and put the cameras on. And I looked at the guy. I said, do you know that where you place the camera in, that's where I used to sleep. And the guy was like, wow. I said, you're coming here to talk to me about who I am now, what I've become, but where you put the cameras is where I used to lay and sleep. And the guy was stunned. I'm like, you know, that's the price I had to pay. And days of, you know, not having money, jumping in buses, sometimes having to lie and say, you know, I lost my money. You know, days I calm down and just walk home and cry, like, Ma, is this the life? You know, I called my dad and then I said, how much is your salary? It's $5,000. I said, wow. How do you want to do it? You know, I just carried my backpack. You know, big shout out to my friend Lawal. He was very, very instrumental to my belief in what I want to become. He works here still, you know. We're always friends and buddies. And one of the things that connected us was in Misuya, because we always liked bread and egg and noodles every night. It was crazy. We always do that every night. And, you know, I got my first shot on radio. Now, I couldn't even do it because there was a lot of fear. I mean, walking the likes of big shout out to Lisa. I was doing the one of the announcements on Lisa's show, and the guy just picked up the mic and said, "Hey, what the hell are you? What are you doing?" I'm like, that's crap. Get out. And, you know, and he called me back and said, "You know what? That's not the way to do it. You can keep here, stand with me." And shout out to Freeze as well, you know, the instrumental. Manny told me how to do a lot of voice modulation, voice control. I started to do production, and I wanted to be better in what I did. So I said, you know what, the only way I could be here is you gotta be different. So I started doing voiceovers, I started producing my own jingles, and that was how I just couldn't even try. But then it was a hustle. I've gotten kicked out here many times, you know, different. I don't want to go into that, but, you know, I was always the guy that defends every person. Why is this person cheat? Why are you shitting this guy? And I'm like, you're not even big enough to even defend people. Why you know, it was a lot of struggle getting there, getting the night show. I had insomnia for a long time. I couldn't sleep properly. Sometimes I have to go back and think about people's stories about what they told me. I heard all kinds of stories. People that are about to commit suicide and everything. So it really, at a very young age, it tried to trouble me at some point. I just slipped into depression at some point, but I always get back up. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle trying to get my job, trying to keep it, trying to be better, trying to be bigger than the people who've been there. At the point I thought I couldn't do it. Because the first time, what I used to do, I used to write everything I see on the paper. I write it. You know, Nigeria is more of the back approach. Everybody goes, I couldn't even do it myself. I had to read on the paper. Anybody comes in, I stop. I pause on air. And somebody like, what's going on? So it was a lot of work.
Wow, I can imagine. I mean, I can just imagine. Now, from there, you've gone ahead to own a record label, Eclectic Entertainment. Tell us about the record label.
It's actually eclectic. Yeah, because I couldn't get them eclectic. I just put the F in it.
Okay.
I've always liked the word eclectic.
Okay.
Eclectic means when things are very quirky, different, and unassuming. And I think that's where I see myself as well. So, for me, it was more like trying hands and what everybody thought it was. I just said, you know what, I have a younger brother who does music. Okay. He's great. And he has the same drive that I have.
It's Pepe Nazi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was the social director of Federal University of Technology at Korea. He had the entertainment incline. I think I inspired him a lot too. So he just had the drive, and he was more very vibrant like I was. Okay. And I just figured out I got open a record label just for me to be able to save the bread. I mean, it wasn't for me to make money. I didn't make a dime from it. It was just for him to be able to get by. And
the platform for him.
Yeah, because I had the strength in that regards, and I felt, you know what, if I could do it for other guys, why can't I do it for my own younger brother? So that's why I even opened the record label, and that actually now became the birth to a lot of things like me being creatively inclined, bringing my advertising and public relations skill into running jobs for likes of bank of industry. I held up their social media for years, you know. So I mean, for 2-3 years, that's good for me. And I started doing SMEs. I mean, started building SMEs like the Elay levels from scratch, Angeli stores from scratch. You know, I did something recently for Google as well. I like to fix things. I like to put things in place, and that's how I've always been. So for me, it just felt like a breath to just not even a record label, to the breath of who I was. I realized that I started liking a lot of things. Like I started loving things that I felt I was in there, and I just wanted to show it. I realized. And
then you delve into TV recently. I mean, industry to you in that drama series.
I just wanted to conquer everything that I had to do. Industry, I pulled off a good job. I played Pound Star. I mean, I went to the UK and people were like, Pound Star. I was so shocked. But Funke called me and said, you could act. I said, yeah. I mean, that's the drive. My work is I act every day. If I have to explain things to you, I have to dramatize. I'm like my dad. My dad will explain a story, stand up, do backflips. He tell you, like, you sit down. He dramatizes everything. And I realized that that's who I am. So in the street, I had a popular show too on Sound City, when it was the top greatest countdown on art radio show. People loved it too. Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on everything. And hopefully, I'm starting my own YouTube channel very soon, and people can see me. And that's how I transcended into being a hype god as well. So it just.
I mean, we wouldn't close without talking about you being a hype person. I mean, so much energy you put into this thing. People will literally think you are high on something. How do you cope?
Well,
I mean, you dance, you shout, you jump. Recently, you started taking off your clothes, and I'm wondering, what has gone?
The Energy God is a brand of big shout out to lots of Elephant Man. I look up for like DJ Khaled. I've always loved this guy called Lil Jon. Okay. And Spliff Star. Spliff Star used to be the guy behind Busta Rhymes. Okay. you can almost figure that guy, who's that guy, you know. And I like I was loved to be that guy who's not really considered but different. So, and later loved. So at some point I realized that I had to build myself to get to that level where I had to show what I had. I mean, I'm always a hyper kid. I had the same hype. Even when talking to radio, there's so much energy.
Definitely.
So I just figured, no, you know what?
Energy guy.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I started with a super. I mean, I always have a brand every year.
Okay.
I've had the host for the most. I switched it to Super I Man. Then at some point, I just thought about it, man. You know what? Nobody matches his energy in this game. So I just
Energy guy.
energy guy. And I copped that from Elephant Man. If you know Elephant Man, the Jamaican dancer star, you knows he has a lot of energy. So I just thought about it. This is who I am. And that's how I started the Energy God brand. And it's making a lot of sense now.
Definitely it is.
And for energy, it's part of me. My parents will understand it. My friends and family who have gone to school with me say, when you talk to what do you mind saying here? I'm baking in. And that's how I just started using that as my own channel to make money.
And it's definitely paying.
It's paying off now.
All right, as we try to round up, Dotun, I mean, what are the values that have helped you? I mean, you spoke about contentment earlier on. What other values do you think have shaped you into the person you are today?
Well, first of all, the passion first. I never thought about the money. I mean, money is good. It will pay off. And I keep telling you, after you've done the passion, you've gone into a setting level, start asking for your money. But at the point I started, if you're not there yet, stop asking for money. Do it for the passion. And that's exactly number one. Two, I was committed to what I wanted to do.
Commitment.
And consistency.
Consistency.
The problem about Nigeria is there's no continuity and there's no consistency. Sometimes you let the society decide what you want to become. You don't, if you know one thing, focus on that. And that was the exact thing that worked for me, and I'm a very contented person. And the thing is, out of the box, I try as much as possible to be not conventional as you expect. I like to do things differently. And that, for me, has shaped me and worked for me. And that's why I've already said to people, the same way I see Jimmy Jack to DJs, the same way I see Ali Baba to comedians, the same way I see Olisa and the rest to radio. That's the way I see myself to hype in Nigeria. And then that's what I wanted to focus on right now. And it's been consistent. The good thing about me is I double as an MC. I've been an MC, jacket, no dyed hair, do the routines. I'm a good MC. But at the end of the day, I just thought about it, something was missing. A hype came into the picture and I nailed it. So the good thing is, good education, I can speak, I can interact, I can communicate, have a good voice, and and have the drive, I can dance, I can talk, I can do, so everything all put together exactly is me, and I could double as the MC and as a hype man. So that's the difference.
Wow. Equal double as an MC and as a hype man. On that note, we call it a wrap today on the show. I've been speaking with Dotun Oluwakbekade. We call him D.O. to the T-U-N. Of course, he calls himself the Energy Guy. He's got so much energy. Lagos, that's been the show for today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget that the show comes your way every Monday, 10:30 a.m. Next week, we have another exciting guest on the show for you. Remember, you can be the best you can be. Do have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you. Energy God. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about something important.